Hi, and welcome back to Let's Unpack That. We're going to talk today about why do I have to follow up with my clients so many times before they move forward? This is a great question. If you're dealing with this, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. This occurs for so many of us, largely because there is a very real marketing, advertising, and lead nurturing aspect to what you're doing when you're running a small business that we are not educated and trained about in clinical programs. So a lot of times, if you've gotten your license, if you've done training, whether you're a therapist or a coach at an agency or a nonprofit or a hospital, you are already working with people who are signed up, ready to go. They've gone through intake. Sometimes they're mandated to do the work with you. When you are working with people in private practice, they are the core decision maker, and sometimes it can take them longer to make that decision. So there are things like ambivalence that might be going on for them psychologically. There are other things like the conditioning that they've gone through elsewhere in their purchasing decisions that they're used to, whether or not that's conscious. So for example, if you think about the last time you did some shopping online, and maybe you put a couple t-shirts or socks or whatever it might be into your shopping cart, and then you decided, do I really need this, or do I need this right now? Or the microwave went off and you got distracted, or your dog started crying, or your child started crying, you got distracted, and essentially you exited out of that screen without making a purchase. You probably viscerally remember or are actively being reminded as you're watching this, hey, did you forget? Hey, did you forget? Hey, this item's in your checkout box. Hey, come back. Hey, here's a discount, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can imagine that particularly for younger generations, they are used to and conditioned by this constant prodding. So this is not to say that you should prod 1,000 times over, because we are behavioral health providers and we're in a slightly different field. You don't necessarily want to go above and beyond or be a nuisance. And the exact frequency of your follow-up, the exact time between your various follow-ups is going to vary according to you and your practice and your values. And one of the beauties of private practice is all of those decisions are yours to make. However, the thing that's important to recognize and understand is that follow-up and nurturing matters. It's important. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be 100 times, but you do want to start getting into the practice of reaching out to folks who have expressed some level of interest. Maybe they've visited your social page. Maybe they've visited your website. Maybe they've booked a call and then ghosted on the call. These are not signs that you are doing anything wrong. These are signs that the person is at least moderately interested in what you do, and they are experiencing some barriers to care. So what can you do to reduce those barriers and demonstrate your value as much as possible without over investing to a point that you either burn out or feel resentful? So one really great way to do that are things like email newsletters and listservs, or things like things that prospective clients can download from your website and gain value from immediately, even in advance of booking a call with you. And the idea with both is that there's some finite amount of marketing time, energy, expense, and expertise that you're investing in nurturing the relationships with those prospective clients, but you're not hyper-personalizing that, and you're not running yourself thin or running yourself ragged by having those personalized one-off relationships with every single person, to the extent that if none of them follow through, you're burnt out, or you're resentful, or you're angry, or you're frustrated. It's best psychologically to assume they won't follow through, and then when they do, you can celebrate that, and you can start to, in hindsight, look at what are some of the patterns among the folks that do follow through, and can you then create even more materials and even more nurturing for that particular subset of individual or family or couple or community, because obviously you and your message are resonating with that group. So how can you further build things for them that will resonate with them, that will help move them forward? So I hope this talk was helpful for you today. If there's something that works for you that I did not mention, please write it in the comments. You never know who you're going to help. And if there's someone who you think this would be helpful for, please tag them in the comments or share this with them, because you just might make their day. You never know who'll need it and who will love to know that you're thinking of them. As always, keep your eyes peeled for the question bubbles in our stories so that we can continue to speak to the things that are most supportive for you. And if nothing else, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a grounded and inspired rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Bye.